Do you think white people are under attack?
I totally do. You're demented.
Okay.
I think if, in fact, no matter how hard they make it for minorities to vote, I think you're going to see them willing to stand in line.
You're not for the voting
and
rights.
defy
Voting
the
rights.
attempt.
Oh, you mean having an ID to vote? Yeah.
No. But you say that, but the HR1 quite literally has that. So the voting rights legislation that Democrats are currently trying to pass that will never pass because of the filibuster.
Praise the Lord.
But that actually has voter ID in it. Like that institutes.
But I also
voter
don't
ID
like
measure.
mail-in voting. So
Why not?
Why not?
So you can just send a bucket of votes
to
an apartment.
How do you think Donald Trump votes?
Okay.
He does mail it in.
He literally mails it in.
He doesn't like going.
How do you
to
think the
place.
state of Florida?
No, absentee is a lot different than mail-in.
In what way is it different?
Wait, why?
Because it's not being. I mean, it's for people who are specifically out of the state. It's not just being mailed to random apartments, bucket loads of votes.
No, there's universal mail-in ballot registration in numerous states, though. Republican states as well. I think Utah is one of them, is it not? And Florida is another one if you want it as well.
You mean they have like what do you mean?
Or Oregon. Plenty of states in the United States of America have what is basically mail-in ballot registration that everybody gets.
Oh, I don't care if
they
it's
want it.
Republican or Democrat. I want us all going to the polls to vote. End of discussion. Red state, blue state. Make it a national holiday so nobody has to go to work. We just all go vote on one day.
What you're describing is literally the Democrat bill, though.
But
not to give
no
them too much credit.
no mail-in bullshit.
But
They're all so no, it's not.
Everybody
But
votes by mail in a lot of states.
Christian, there was
I don't care.
There was like way more election fraud when it was like that. It was like Tammany Hall like stole all those fucking elections, and it was in person. Everyone was going in. They still stole everything. Chicago, we used to do the same shit. It's all in person. You can, if you really want to steal an election, you're doing it however.
But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by voter fraud,
Yeah.
which is what Republicans claim it is how it's done. Because in order to activate people to be able to go out and commit voter fraud, like nobody gives a shit. No one is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do voter fraud. What does happen is election fraud, in which like people will collect ballots and toss them out or whatever the fuck. That does happen. But this idea that like people are getting like illegally, people are getting excited to go and vote illegally for like a fucking Democrat. That's not real. The plurality in this country of voter eligible voters don't even vote. So if anything, we have too little people voting and not more people voting.
So why are you so married to mail-in then? If we can make it a national holiday,
To make it
if you
easier for
show
working
up-
class individuals to be able to vote.
Well, let's make it a week-long national holiday.
But like, there are no real national holidays in America because someone's always driving for Grubhub. Someone's always like cleaning the fucking shelves at CVS.
Yeah.
It's the invisible people of America who never
then
get a day off.
Then they're way too tired to go home and fill it out and
No,
send it in.
no,
Come
Just
on,
stop in, put your vote in, and
Think about it this
you're
way.
well on your way.
Think about it this way. First of all, we don't have public transportation in most places. So that's one way that you're already eliminating so many people from being able to go out and vote. So there's that. We don't have, we have rural areas in this country where, poor people are living, hundreds of miles away from the fucking nearest polling station or whatever. And because of that, we already have this process in place. I don't have an issue with mail-in voting. Like, I don't have a problem with that at all. I think it's smart. It's effective. That's how Donald Trump got the most amount of votes. Think about that. Donald Trump got more votes than he did the prior year or the prior election season, and more votes than any Republican's ever gotten because, more people were able to vote for him. So I think it's just honest to allow people to be able to go out and vote.
Yeah.
Okay, well, y'all stick with your ghetto mail-in. I still want to show up in person.
I did not vote since the New York primaries.
You haven't voted?
I voted for Bernie in the New York primaries even after
So
the
you
war
didn't
was
vote for Bat. You were
No,
like, fuck it.
no. I live in New York. Who gives a fuck?
Oh my gosh,
Even if I
good
lived,
for
even
you.
if I lived in
I'm
Ohio,
a big
it's
let's
like,
go Brandon
nah.
head. I voted illegally for Joe Biden
you
multiple
did?
times. Yeah,
Oh, got it.
I did voter fraud. I'm the only one who did voter fraud in the
You're the
country.
reason he won California.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
I illegally. Yeah, everywhere you go, everyone's a Republican secretly or openly, but
You
Joe
like
Biden keeps winning because I keep doing mail-in ballots. You know, I keep going to nursing homes, stealing their ballots, opening
Filling
them,
it out.
and then filling it out for Joe Biden.
you registered extra people to your house.
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely what I did. That's how we won.
I was doing all the votes for all the people Cuomo killed, getting all that shit.
Hell yeah. What we're trying to say is that the Trump train, if you will, took off at the same fucking station that the Democrats took off in as well. It's just the aesthetic differences. Like, there's a reason why this administration currently, first of all, has deported more immigrants than the prior one. Did you know that? Did you know that the Biden administration has deported more undocumented
Oh, is it
immigrants?
back to okay? Because that was the rumor with Obama. Meanwhile, the deportation definition under Obama was turned away at the border. That's not my definition of deportation.
No,
I
but-
mean in the country and is deported back.
Well, that's like Plan B versus abortion, right? It's like you're still accomplishing the same goal.
No, turning away someone at the border is not a deportation. Give me a
But
break.
that's what Donald Trump did as well.
I know.
That's what
I know.
that's what
I
Donald
wasn't
Trump did. That's why.
defending-
But even with that definition, Donald Trump still deported less than Obama, and Donald Trump still deported less than Biden so far. That's one thing. And the second thing I will say is, you think like, I'm assuming you think, the Mac attack is like a big open borders socialist, left of Lenin type guy, right? I assume that's what most Republicans think. I think they think he's like
The
for open
Biden type.
borders.
I know he's not as much as
They're using the same exact Title 42 provision right now to expel Haitian migrants from seeking asylum in any of the fucking border facilities. So
And didn't he put
that's the
back
same
in-
exact thing that they're using that was the Trump administration provision. So they're quite literally using the same facilities, the same exact laws, and also deporting more people than the Trump administration did. So there's that.
I mean, every American president does the same thing with
And they're
immigration.
defending it. And they're defending it in courts too. There's like activist judges that want to strike it down. And the Biden prosecutors are fighting against that. The Biden administration lawyers are currently in the process of fighting to uphold Title 42, which is a Trump era CDC provision.
Like, every president does the same thing with immigration, right?
I
Like,
know
I'm
I'm against it.
Right, because it's like, well, like, do you agree that it's like, okay, we create these conditions in all these fucking countries. Like Haiti, perfect example. He's killed, like, their president, we kill him with U.S. agents. There's fucking decades and decades of us fucking with that place, of the West fucking with that place, of France fucking with that place for centuries. Guatemala, everywhere. Our fucking fingers in the pie. We're fucking it up for somebody. They have to go. They don't. It's not that they want to go here to take something from them, but we're fucking up their home. But for this system we have, right? Whether you're a liberal who wants their bathroom cleaned, like somewhere in LA, or you're a fucking conservative who has like a chicken processing plant, you need this like
Low wage.
Yeah, you need this like spigot of low wage workers. And the president is always aware of that. But they're like, okay, well, we can't have too many or else like people are going to get mad at me. So we have to have just the right amount of brutality to keep the right amount of people in. Biden does it. Obama does it. Trump. Trump shook hands with people he knew were like getting low wage workers from places that we fucked up.
And here's the part about it that is like absolutely correct is that two-tier immigration system that we currently have, because we know people are going to want to come in here because we fucked up their country in an irreparable fashion. That system does not need to exist. We could absolutely completely have a legal process where we actually allow every single person that wants to come in to go through the proper steps to be able to get the appropriate documentation. That's more jobs, that's more opportunities. But the reason why we don't do that, and the reason why we have a two-tier system, is exactly what Felix just said. It's not the undocumented immigration that is a problem. It's the fact that we refuse to document immigrants that are coming over the border so that Purdue chicken factories can just fucking, rape their workers, and refuse to pay them the proper wages that they actually deserve. And the moment that like the Guatemalan aunt says, hold up, there's a lot of back wages that we need to get paid. They literally call ICE on themselves because they know that they're only going to get a slap on the fucking wrist and then immediately go and hire more undocumented workers to take the place of the people that they fucking expelled from the country.
Well, two things. I'd rather help people in their countries than bring them here than load our country with more low-wage workers that drive wages down for other low-wage workers. I'm in favor of our current low-wage workers getting a raise. You're bringing in more low-wage workers, it's driving wages down. So, I understand your point of, fucking them up there. I'd rather help them there than import them here.
Okay,
So you're in favor of just like you're with us where it's like, all right, CIA, like stop fucking with these places.
Absolutely.
All right.
I mean,
All
well,
right.
they can't fuck with those places anymore anyway. They got imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's right. They're too anxious.
They're too anxious.
That,
they're
man.
breathing in the bags.
Said I'm a 29-year-old millennial with anxiety.
Imagine not being able to do a
Dude.
coup in fucking Venezuela, bro. Come on.
They did. America is still very powerful, still capable of a lot of evil. I will say, Bush would have been able to knock over Maduro.
Oh yeah.
Back then, we've lost a lot. We took a lot of L's.
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. The real problem with undocumented labor is the two-tiered immigration system that we have created on purpose so that business owners, whether they're fucking liberals or Republicans, can get away with like slave wages, right? And that does have a capacity to depress wages overall. The other way that we depress wages overall is by destroying unions.
Hasan.
What?
You're anti-union?
Why are you
Just say
anti-
what you were gonna say.
No. I want to hear why you're anti-union, but like,
No, I just want to hear your point first.
okay, so unions historically and still to this day, and there's like fucking shitty unions, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's like corruption within unions as well, but who cares? Unions have the capacity to increase wages even for non-unionized workers by 10%, no matter what, across the fucking board. And they do. They increase benefits, they increase wages, they offer, it's the least important, most important thing you can do in your workplace because it's the starting point. It's just what's fair. That if you are a worker that is generating value for your bosses, you should be able to at least say, hey, can we take a piece of these fucking profits and, pay ourselves more, or at the very least get like a day off when we want to, or be able to fill in.
Or you can find another job.
But you can't, because that is an absolute lie. The idea that like you can just leave your job and then go get another one is a total lie. Why?
How'd you get that first job to begin with?
Because your healthcare is tied to your job, right? Your healthcare is completely tied to your job. We do not have universal healthcare. You're saddled with debt because you went to college, so you could improve
Thank God,
your.
don't go to college anymore.
Okay,
I agree. I'm in the anti-college movement. I'm in the
Well, then you
anti-college
shouldn't have
movement.
gone and gotten that student
Okay,
loan.
but
babe.
people have done.
I do not think their lives should be ruined for the student loan. I'm
Yeah.
just
I mean,
against
I-
college
I-
as a concept.
Dumb.
I like college.
You
I think it's a fun experience. People should do it.
Vacation for 4 years.
Yeah, that's fine.
Everyone deserves
Everyone
a vacation,
deserves a
though.
vacation for 4 years where they're like they're like kind of treated
But
as
then
an
don't
adult.
ask me to pay for, or don't ask that loan to be forgiven when you chose to go. When you could
No,
have
I
just
think
started working.
I think it should be. I think because other countries offer it for free, and also technically, it doesn't
Okay,
have to be a
well,
college
we
either.
can
It could
have-
be a technical school.
We can have the
as well.
discussion about making it free, even though I'll never be on that train. But we can at least have the discussion when we're not bringing in more people.
I have a question
Like
for you. I have a question for you about like bringing in more people though.
Okay.
About immigration though. Because like this is like you agree that it's like we all have this system. Every president does it.
yeah.
But would you, if we stop doing it, if like you said we stop bringing people in, there will be a change in all of our ways of life.
What do you mean? We're already experiencing it. Why do you think there's a labor shortage?
Right. Well, right. I mean, that's for a bit, but yeah, like if you think like supply chain or like empty shelves are bad now, just wait until we stop bringing people in. Just wait until we stop bringing in people who will like work for nothing.
You will not
Life
be able
will
to
get
get
very
If you-
different.
No. If you stop bringing people in, wages start going up because there's less competition. Then people will want to do those low wage
Why hasn't it
jobs because
happened?
the wage will go up.
But it
we're
hasn't
still bringing
happened.
people in.
No, we're not.
We're bringing tons of
The
people.
reason, no, we're not. The precise reason why, once we've established that, like, it's technically not undocumented immigration that's depressing wages, it's the way that we have designed that system on purpose, is the cruelty.
I don't think
being
it's just undocumented either. I want to tone down legal as well.
You think America does it? You think America it takes too many immigrants?
I think we take in the most in the world.
We're,
Go try Brazil, go try China, go try Russia. Why don't they take some people in?
They do take people in.
They don't take as many as we do.
Also, we have 330 million people in this country. We can definitely, and we have a lot of space. We can definitely take in way more immigrants. It's not a big deal at all. But what I'm saying is, the reason why wages are depressed, or the reason why wages go down, is not because like undocumented or documented labor is coming into the country and there's more labor. It's a lump of labor fallacy that was like disproven in the fucking 18th century. The reason why the wages are depressed in this country, despite productivity increasing year over year with technological achievements and yada yada, is because we have no support system for the American working class to be able to say, hey, at my workplace, like, it seems like we're making more money every single fucking year, but our salaries have remained the same. It's not adjusted to inflation. It's not adjusted to the cost of living. And we're still making dog shit fucking wages. Let's not do that. Let's get more money. We have no vehicle to be able to do that because we have no labor unions. It's not an accident that like every country where you look at the average wages for comparable jobs is much higher. Think
if we just raise wages for all these low class working class people, then the market's going to adjust and prices are going to rise as well. There could be a price rise in the interim, but that price rise is never going to be as significant as the way people say it's going to be, and that's, you know. I don't want to test it out.
No, but we know, we have examples of this, you know. You look at any other fucking country in Europe, which Republicans refuse to recognize exists, and you will see that the prices on certain goods are definitely higher than America.
Okay, I see the chat saying low class. I meant working class, low wage workers. Low wage.
Yeah. And also,
come on.
And also, that's why I do a podcast instead of live. They fucking
no, I like being live. It's fun.
And also, not only that, but we already have an example of this working in other countries where like. It's not like
where?
A McDonald's hamburger in Denmark where people are getting paid fucking $20.
Immigration too, right?
That does not change the reality.
But they do. So I'm willing to have that conversation if we just implement some of their policies as well.
But that doesn't. Okay, but that doesn't
not
change
just
the
ignore
reality.
how they.
Immigration does not change wages as long as everyone is considered to be the same type of worker. What actually depresses or increases wages is a lack of unionization, because when there's more people coming in, there's more need for housing, there's more need for roads, there's more need for education, there's more need for everything else, which is precisely why immigration in and of itself, if everyone was documented, will not actually depress wages in any meaningful capacity whatsoever. It's how we do the immigration that actually has a capacity to depress wages.
Are you down for Denmark's diversity?
I mean, these countries are actually pretty diverse.
I know they are now, and
not now. Like they've always been pretty diverse. I think that people completely misunderstand that and think that it's not.
I mean, they have, like,
and per capita, Denmark allows more people. Denmark allows 4.3 per 1,000.
I know they are now, and look how the rape rate's gone up too.
Well, that actually is. First of all, I don't know why Republicans ever mention rape laws or rape statistics in Europe. Every country has a different way of calculating, and the real reason why in Sweden, which is what you're referencing, not Denmark, the real reason why rape statistics have gone up in Sweden is because they changed the way that they document rape from maybe if you're a spouse, like if you're engaging in spousal rape, which Dennis Prager loves and is an advocate for.
He did write an article saying you should do that.
He wrote 2 articles saying you should rape your wife.
He wasn't into that shit. He's a little freak.
He's had 7 wives. So.
He's fucked up. He's fucked up, dude.
Anyway, so the reason why the rape statistics skyrocketed in Sweden was not because of
well, I was thinking
immigration.
Sweden and Germany. Germany, really.
Okay, but most of these countries actually have a different way of documenting rape, and that is the reason. When they changed like the methodology for what they constitute as like a singular instance of rape, that's when you see gigantic differences in the rape statistics, not because of immigration. Also, Germany's entire economy is reliant on immigrant labor. If there wasn't Turkish immigration into Germany, there would be no engine driving the EU at this moment. It's quite literally the immigration that kept Germany alive in post-World War II.
And they have a similar thing there, whenever they say some shit, whenever they talk shit about Erdogan, he's like, watch me turn the spigot. I'll either turn it off totally or I will flood you. Like, he's just said that. He's just been like,
I don't care.
yeah, he's like, keep talking.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking about Syrians. Like, he has, like, you know, like fucking 3 million Syrian refugees inside of Turkey, and he uses that as a counterpoint to say that, like, you know, to use that as a counterpoint to be like, hey, don't threaten me. If you don't fucking jail this journalist that said I'm a pussy, I will literally send Syrian refugees to Germany.
Yeah, and that's, by the way, one of my 3 plugs I have to do today. Keep buying the lira. Buy the dip. The lira's going nowhere but up. Keep buying it. Trust the plan. I have a trillion liras right now.
Oh, here. See? Once again, rape laws changing in 2016, and rape law reformation is the reason why they skyrocket. It has nothing to do with immigration. A lot of these countries, if you look at their statistics, they've had high rates of like immigration for a very long time, 2 decades, 3 decades. The only reason why people are making a big stink of it now is because there is uncertainty and anxiety elsewhere, oftentimes economic anxiety and uncertainty, that they are aggressively, shifting over to immigrants coming in. It's bullshit. Anyway, so there's that. Not that it matters. You can keep saying whatever. I know conservatives will say it regardless, but for the record, like I said, this is the same exact thing in Sweden as well, where it's like, in Sweden, for example, spousal rape, if like a husband rapes their wife 100 times over the course of a year, that's not calculated as one instance of rape anymore. It's calculated as 100 instances of rape. That's why there was a big skyrocketing of rape numbers.
Are you a football bro?
Fuck no, dude. No, not even remotely, okay? Man. I am not even in any way, shape, or form interested in any of that stuff. Are you a barb?
I'm a total barb.
Are you a barb now, though? But you're like a fake barb.
No, I've been a barb since day one. Everybody, like, thought I was, and then when she did that, I came out of the closet as a barb.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Well, then, okay, so that's why you're a fake barb.
No!
Because a real barb wears it on their sleeve from day one.
I played her music.
Oh, you were too afraid. You were too afraid to admit it. Okay.
No. Yeah, I'm totally a barb.
She had a great song with NBA Youngboy. That's all I really know about her. But like,
Barbs hate me because
because you fought with her.
I fought with Nicki on Twitter.
I ratioed.
He was like,
you what?
I ratioed Nicki Minaj on Twitter.
What?
Yeah, 100%. That is a real thing that I did.
Let her live her life.
What?
You're hating on a black queen.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the barb said. That's exactly what the barb said.
You're such a racist.
That is literally what the barb said. They were like, "You're a white supremacist."
You are.
And other words that I can't say on Twitch because I got banned.
I remember.
You know, I got banned on Twitch for 7 days for saying.
I'm a free speaker. I wouldn't have banned you.
It's crazy.
Well, they banned him for saying like an anti-white slur, which is crazy. No, legit. They banned him for that.
But if they're gonna ban people for other words, then fuck yeah, ban them for that. Fuck yeah.
So you're for more censorship?
No. If they're gonna ban people for other words, then it should be universal. If we're not, but I'm for no banning.
But like, do you agree?
Not you get special rights because you're hating on white people.
I think you should get. I unironically think you should get special rights for hating on white people. 100%. They should actually.
Oh, I know.
They should actually elevate you. If you make fun of white people, they should. I'm white. Like, what do you mean? What are you gonna police my speech? I'm fucking white.
That's the thing. If they ban him for saying like anti-white slurs, they're saying like, oh, he's
not white. Yeah.
But Turkey's in the European Union. That's
no,
white.
it's not.
Middle Eastern isn't white.
It's in NATO. It's in NATO.
It's in NATO.
I misspoke.
Yeah.
I woke up earlier than
it's a
normal
sore.
today. I meant
it's
to
a
say
sore
NATO.
spot for Turks.
Yeah. My bad. I misspoke. I know you're not in the EU.
I think
you should
Turkey.
be.
I want to go so
Turkey
bad.
seems sick.
They'll love you. In Turkey.
Oh, yeah. I would love that.
Okay, so wait, what was I gonna say? What were we talking about before? Fuck. Oh, anti-white slurs.
About music.
Yeah, anti-white slurs. I think yes, it should be allowed, and also not only that, but they should like give me more money when I say anti-white slurs. Like Twitch should be like, thank you. Here's your check. That's how it should work. Then other anti-ethnic slurs should be allowed? No, I mean, yes, but like, except for the ones that you know. Which one.
Except what? Except what?
The
Except for the ones that-
The K1. I don't know. I think I should be able to say it right, but like I don't know.
He doesn't
The thing
even
that
know.
you call Jews.
He doesn't
The
even
thing you
know.
call Jews.
He's
I'm
Jewish.
Jewish. I can say it.
He's
but,
saying
like,
he, as
I
a
love
Jewish
my
person,
Jews,
like he should be able to say it. I shouldn't be able to say it. If you're Muslim, you should extra not be able to say it.
Yeah, no, there's some history there. There's some unfortunate history there. Yes, there is. If it was my friend who's
Just
Muslim,
kidding.
if it's my friend who's Muslim, I would be like, okay.
Are you gonna give the pass?
Do you?
Yeah,
Can you do that?
yeah.
Can you give passes?
No Jews do it, but I would like to my friends. I'd
No,
be
for
like,
if he's white, can he give a pass for the C word?
yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Everyone can do
The
it,
C
right?
the C word pass is universal. It's a ridiculous one that people are getting because like.
But like,
Because like no one has ever been mad. No one has ever actually been mad
But
unless
since
you're like a
y'all
fucking.
ramped up the anti-free speech shit, we're ramping up the anti-white stuff.
Do you think white people are under attack?
I totally do. you're demented.
Okay. You think white people are under attack? But it's good.
No.
I think they
No.
should.
So you're sitting on here you're like, yeah, F white people did it. Can you imagine if you did that about one other group?
Yeah, it would be bad and wrong.
Yeah, so it's
But
bad
it's
with
funny
white
when
people.
it's funny and cool and good. when
Okay,
it's for white
it
people.
used to be funny when you could do it to everyone, when you could make like
No.
No, it was funny when it was universal, you could make fun of everyone, but now that you can only make fun of white people, it's like, oh, like that's low-hanging fruit, like come up with a better joke.
No, I
Like,
agree.
You know, that's
I agree.
what I'm
no,
saying.
I
It's just
agree.
like
I
it's
agree.
not
I agree with
funny
that.
anymore.
I think it's like super basic, which is why like, you know, we should adopt the European style racism, which is like
banter.
ethnic.
Right.
So like, you know, make fun of Polish people on the virtue of their Polishness or that sort of thing. That's what we should be adopting, but not the anti-Romani part of it.
Wait, if it's like your friends, I think like, yeah, dude, but like, dude, my friend Dave is Punjabi. He's always he's always, you know, going in on me or going in on our friend who's like a hillbilly, and we're always like, fuck you, you know, get back.
Yeah.
And
Good, that's
but like
fine.
banter
Just
needs
fun
to,
stuff.
Banter
Yeah,
needs
of
to come
course.
back.
For sure.
Banter is great. You know?
But yeah, as far as the anti-white stuff, the white people are people of color.
Oh no, this one.
They are.
This
Fuck
slapped.
it.
This
Fuck
slapped.
it.
I haven't even seen
Mention
this,
the
but I
word.
know it slapped. Okay.
It did. Fuck
Oh my
yeah.
god. By the way, people are unironically asking what your skincare routine is.
Oh, I'll give you all my skin after we watch this.
Okay.
White light is made up of a bunch of different colors on the visible light spectrum. The word white functions as a color in every single language that I speak. So I'd appreciate if the racism against white people stopped immediately. White people are people of color. Stop trying to marginalize their voices. Stop trying to silence white voices. White voices matter. White lives matter. White people are people of color. So stop excluding them from the fray.
Love that.
Period.
That was you changed my mind.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I just had to educate
yeah.
you a little on visible light spectrum.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. It was,
Thanks.
you had to go to the sciences.
Yeah.
You had to go to the
trust
hard
the
sciences.
Trust the science.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
See, that's a real thing the CDC should have told us.
Done.
That white people are a color.
Yeah.
So
If they had
stop
done
the
that,
anti-whiteness.
dude, if they had done that, people would have stopped dying of COVID in March. I don't know how, but it would have helped.
So yeah, no, I think that I mean, if we're gonna be serious about it, no, I think that like oppression on the virtue of whiteness is not a real thing. Obviously, because whiteness as a concept is like built around dominance and exclusion. That's why, you know, Barack Obama is not considered a white person, but a black person.
He leans into his blackness. He doesn't. My friends don't even know
There
that
is not
he's
a
mixed race. He totally leans into
It doesn't
his
because
black
it doesn't
side.
matter. Like
No,
no one would ever
no,
be like
but-
Barack Obama's white.
But
you know what I mean?
but if he's the one who says he's black, etc., he doesn't say he's mixed race. So no, he's not white and he's not black. He's mixed.
I mean, but it doesn't matter. Even if he said he's mixed, oh, you're pro logic. You're saying like, you know, everyone that's everyone that's mixed race doesn't say they're biracial. No, but so the point is, it comes from the one drop rule, right? I mean, you know this, I think. Like you were educated in America.
Yes,
I
but
don't
I'm
know.
not living in slave time, so I've moved on.
I know, but like that's where that comes from. It's not like it changed. You
Well,
know
what
what
do
I
you
mean?
mean? Like if someone's considered black or not? You're saying?
Yeah, I mean it's a fundamental part of like American societal development is it came with the preservation of slavery early on, and all of the fucking attitudes haven't changed. Like you're black, and the reason why you're black and not
Thanks
something
for
different.
telling me, Hasan.
No, I mean I know you know
Just
this,
letting me know.
but like the reason why the reason why Barack Obama is black is because he has at least like one drop or more of black genes in him that slavers
Well,
a very long
a
time
lot
ago
of black
decided.
people don't think biracial people are full black. That's kind of a new movement. So, are you speaking for the black kings and queens?
So there's a lot of like intra-community fighting on shit like that. There's also colorism, yada yada.
So you're just talking.
I personally don't give a shit. Obviously, it's not my business per se. I do watch. Felix and I both watch from afar.
You do. Just to keep in the culture.
We are. Yeah,
I think I'm
we-
gonna get involved soon, though.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna be like the CIA in Syria and just start funding all different types of groups.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think everyone needs to hear from me on this issue.
Yeah, I agree.
But ultimately, yeah, it's just like that's the reason why whiteness in and of itself is not like something you can call out unless you're like a huge bitch. You know what I mean? Like, anyone that fucking cries about like white people being attacked is like on the basis of being white and not on the basis of being like a worker or any other kind of like actual fucking marginalization is a huge bitch.
For
100%.
me, it has to do with we can't talk or even make a joke about anyone else, but you can you can hate speech, which I don't believe in, white people, and you're not consequenced for it at all. So
Because it's not real.
It's right
It's not
in
real.
your. What's not real about it?
Hate speech against white people is not real. 100%. Like, if it was real, then like it can't be real because it's about dominance. Like whiteness is not a
So
real thing.
you're I don't believe white people are supreme to everyone else, but you do, or you believe that
No, I
society
don't think.
makes them
I don't
supreme?
think. white
I'm not a
people are-
white supremacist.
I don't think white people are supreme to anyone else. What I'm simply stating is that whiteness as a concept, historically and in contemporary society, is used as the dominant class of individuals. And whiteness as a concept has expanded throughout history. There was a time when Irish people were not considered white. There was a time when Greek people were not considered white. There was a time when Polish people were not considered white.
Italians, yeah,
Jews,
everyone.
Italians, right? So that concept is expanded to create a larger in-group. Now Hispanics are considered white as well. You
By
have white
y'all.
Hispanics. So, have you met a Cuban person? They definitely consider themselves to be white and are very white in general, depending on...
See, and I also don't attach certain qualities to skin color. Like this is a whiteness. This is
No,
this
I
is
know, but
functioning
as a
whiteness.
political concept, that's where the history comes from, and that's precisely what it's being utilized as, ultimately, and that's exactly the reason why, from a political point of view, it's like hate speeching someone against white, hate speeching people for being white is ridiculous, and that's why everybody intrinsically understands that it's ridiculous. That's why like most white people would laugh when you say someone is a C word. I can't believe I'm saying C word now because I don't want to get banned, but that's the reason.
Well, we'll move on so we don't get you banned.
No, it's fine. I mean, I as long as you don't call someone the C word.
Got it.
Well, dude, you just showed us a video of you being a white supremacist. What do you mean?
Oh, I think he means like the white
Oh.
people of color video. I think that's as somebody who constantly says things that I know are going to like upset people or like get a reaction. It's just like the type of person I am. I can tell when someone else is doing that. Like you didn't really. I don't believe that you got up and you're like, oh, I've realized this thing that white people.
We all
are
know
people.
I was making a
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Unless you're
No, I'm saying that you're not making. I'm saying that it's like you're like, damn, I know this is really gonna get people.
But I'm
gonna get yelled at, and I want to get yelled at.
I
Like,
mean,
don't
it would be
really-
funny and
Yeah.
pushy, but
Yeah.
I mean, I stand by my.
Do you think you could be like anti? You think you could be bigoted against straight people?
Straight?
Yeah, straight people.
I mean, sure. I think you could be have something against straight people. Yeah.
Like if someone was like fucking breeders, like, do you think that that's like hate speech?
I
To
mean,
the
I don't
same-
believe in hate speech. So any way you toss
But
and turn
would you make a defense of like people being anti-straight in the same way that you did for people being anti-white?
Only if people weren't allowed to make gay jokes, then I sure as hell would.
So you're saying heterophobia is technical? You're strategically saying heterophobia could be real if homophobia is real.
Yeah.
Do you think homophobia is real?
I think there's people that hate gays, yeah, and I think there's gays who have things against straights as well. I mean, I don't see that as often as the anti-white stuff.
You think there's gays against straights?
Huh?
You think there's like actual heterophobia?
I don't know, but I think there could be for sure.
I mean, it's like, but you understand, right? It's like the default is like considered straightness, right? So that's part of the reason why it's like ridiculous if someone was like, oh, I can't believe they're making fun of breeders or making fun of cishet people. Like, it would just be ridiculous.
Well, there's a lot more straight people in the world than white people as well, so. I think white people are a global minority, technically, so. I think white people are a minority. They're a global minority.
Well, that's because whiteness in and of itself
because you're saying, but
is built on purity. So the
Right.
only way to preserve whiteness or white people is literally by making sure that miscegenation doesn't happen.
But this whiteness concept, whiteness as being like a belief or what I reject that and attaching that belief system to a skin color.
But let me put it this way. He's just saying like how America like moves the goalpost for like what is white, where it's like, all right, we gotta like expand it for this people like they did with like Irish people and like Jews and shit.
Yeah.
Just like that, it's in the same way that like if you're a Chinese guy in China, that's being white there, kind of. Or if you're like, if you're a Gulfi in Saudi Arabia, you're white there.
Right.
Same deal. You know?
Like it's just the default mode. It's the default in group, whatever the default like character class is. You know what I mean? That's just whiteness here in Western, in America especially, because like the concept of black and white is like pretty American the way that we understand it. It's like unique, and that is it just means you're in the in class, that you're in the dominant in group.
Okay, well, you keep hating on white people whenever you want. I'll defend them, but don't get mad when I make a joke about someone
Okay,
else.
but how? Okay, can you tell me an example of how you would defend the white race then, if it is a race, without like coming across like a Nazi?
Well, no. If I mean,
miscegenation,
there was
right?
a literal genocidal Twitter space where a group
Genocide.
of people.
He's talking about my group chats.
It's real. Y'all, they were calling for white people to literally be exterminated, like sent to camps, literally. And you might think it's funny. They were.
You think it's funny though?
No, I was but I think
no
that's
shot.
wrong.
You think that's?
But you know that they're not gonna get it together. They're not.
Well,
doing
they're
that.
not. No, they're not gonna do. But I'm against that type of like. It's not cute.
Okay, but notice how you immediately went to like what the other side is saying and your reaction to the other side. Is there a way where you can assume a defensive position to defend the honor and sanctity of the white race without coming across like a Nazi?
Sure, just like people defend the black race, defend the Latino.
So you're saying white pride, like as opposed to black pride?
No, if you can have black pride, then you don't have to hate on white people, or white person shouldn't have to hate themselves either.
Well,
you're not a white supremacist just because you think, oh, shit, I don't take responsibility for what my ancestors did and I don't hate my skin color. That's not being a white supremacist.
That's not what we're talking about, though. No one should hate their own skin color. That's ridiculous. But, why do you think there's a association with white pride and white supremacy? Do you understand why there's an association with white pride and white supremacy?
Oh, yeah, I understand.
Because they're fucking culture vultures. Because they're fucking culture vultures. They saw black pride, they saw black power, and they were like, that shit's good. We got to do it ourselves. And that's why they were like, white power.
If you can have black pride, if you can have Latino pride, if you can have this, that, the other pride, then you can have white pride.
But we got to go back really far, right? Got to go back World War I. This is where everything got fucked up before that. This is really what fucked things up, right? Because it was like, okay, what's the biggest white group in America? It's Germans. Germans took over. Every American's German. Germans, though, when they were showing up, they had their own shit. They took over Wisconsin. They were doing cool shit. They were doing cool shit there. They had their own thing going all over the place. World War I happens. This war that America should have never been involved in. We have nothing to do with these fucking cousins fighting. We have nothing to do with it. But they whipped everyone up.
Terrible war. Destroy the Ottoman Empire.
Yes.
Not good.
Fuck that war. They whipped everyone up. They whipped everyone up against the Germans. They're like, it's the fucking Germans' fault. Fuck them. And all these Germans in America were like, we're not German, we're American. And they give up everything. They have no more identity. And then time passes. And then, you know, they can't go back to being German. They can't wear the fucking lederhosen and eat the sausage and do all the shit, the sewer socialism. They can't do that anymore. So if they're getting into any ethnic pride at all, they're just like, pan-whiteism. And it's stupid because it's like all those countries they're born to fight each other. All the European countries, they all hate each other.
Even though they're all quite literally directly related to one another, especially the royal classes are fucking each other, and they're all cousins at the same time. Yeah. So much so that they have their own genetic inbreeding diseases that you can trace back to specific royal families. Anyway,
but I'm just saying, like every place has something to be proud of. Germans should be like into being German.
I totally agree.
Even I think that
agree.
It's like.
So
all their shit's cool.
So that's what the difference is, though. Like,
but shit.
people can trace back their lineage, and almost all white people, even if they have become Americanized after like a million fucking generations of being here, can trace back their lineage to a specific, country. Like, white people are like, I'm German and Irish, blah blah blah, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you're living in Chicago, you're Polish. Doesn't matter what you are. If you live in fucking the tri-state, you're Italian. Doesn't matter what your background is. You're just fucking Italian. Massachusetts, area, New England, Irish, and a cop. That's where all the cops come from. So the point is, like, black people obviously don't have that because of racism and slavery.
We can't trace our
Can you trace your roots back to like what specific country it comes from?
When my ancestors sold us into slavery? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do that because of chattel slavery, which is why it was like a collective identity created from the intergenerational trauma and having to, associate with a new thing. But that's it. But that is the main difference between like people having, pride or black pride and white pride. That's the main difference is that like the oppressor taking on the SJW shit of an actually oppressed group.
I wasn't championing white pride. I was championing not hating on white people in the same way you shouldn't hate on any other race. And if you do want to hate on white people, don't cancel someone from work for making a comment about someone else. And I stand by, and there's nothing like that's my view.
I'm of the personal opinion. I mean, really the only guy who thinks this. That all races should be friends. The first guy to ever
fucking
say
base,
that.
Fucking base. Holy shit. Anyway, okay. But yeah, there's a
My
difference
friend Ben
between
Morris says hi. I'm sorry. I should have said that.
Hi,
earlier.
Ben.
there's a difference between like, someone in Nigeria who has like Nigerian pride versus an African descendant of slaves here in America. That's where that, that's the main difference is that
we were
people were victim to chattel slavery. But yeah, that was really brave take. Thank you.
I know.
I just thought someone needed
to say it.
Brave, especially after MLK Day. I really appreciated that.
Yeah. Some would say I was inspired.
Okay, so white people are under attack. We established that. Probably the most oppressed. I would say.
For sure.
If there's a group of people
in America,
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I can't. Same with cisgender people, obviously, heterosexuals, all that. Especially if you're an anti-vaxxer.
Oh, they are the most
marginalized.
marginalized.
No one
else. Too, for sure.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, no one. It's like
no one disagrees with that.
Where's
all.
the MLK for anti-vaxxers?
We're waiting on him and praying on him.
You know what I mean? I have a dream that anti-vaxxers and vaccinated can get away. Yeah. Exactly. That we can all go to Applebee's for $5 jalapeno
without
toppers.
a passport at the front.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. What else? Right. Oh wait, what do you think about California homelessness?
Fuck it. Gosh.
What's your take on how do you think we should be dealing with a homelessness crisis?
I think leaving them in tents on the street or is not the way.
Yeah, we're in agreement there, but like, what do you think is the alternative solution?
I don't know. Put them in a homeless shelter.
Well, homeless shelters suck. That we already have shelters, but they're dog shit for the most part.
I mean,
But would you be opposed? Would you be opposed to
housing and all this bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So you're not opposed to housing?
Because we're building housing right now, and I actually had a friend who, I don't know if he's an architect or what, but he gave me the number on how much it is per unit, and it's more than some low-wage working-class Americans units are. So no, I don't know what the solution is.
Wait, but
But building.
But part of the
free
reason why they
housing-
become homeless is quite literally that, what you're talking about, is that like it's really, really unaffordable to have a house if you are a working class individual.
We're not free housing. No, then let's leave them on the streets.
You're not.
And you are not. No.
No,
not like that. That's
But-
bullshit.
no, I'm not.
way.
No, but don't even. We're not going down that route.
Wait, why
That's
not?
For sure.
Why not? You don't think
Because
we should-
it's not. It won't just be homeless. That's not what you're proposing. You're about to go into free universal housing or something.
Yeah.
That's
Why not?
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
No, I don't want the. I don't want.
But like,
the
but like,
government.
explain. You obviously have a point of view, but like, why?
Well, I mean, for a lot of the homeless we have in LA, I don't find this in other cities. It's more of a drug issue, more of a mental health issue, more of a different type of issue, and I don't.
That's because you're seeing like the final tier of homelessness. Most homeless people, 41% plus, I believe, depending on what study you're looking at, still have a job. But you don't see them as homeless. They're invisibly homeless, right? So they have insecure housing. Either they live on people's couches or they're couch surfing, or they live out of their cars and parking lots. And that's like the first tier of homelessness. And that the majority of, or if not every single homeless person's starting point is because they've been priced out of the housing market, because rent keeps going up regardless of whether wages are going up or not. Rent keeps going up. Landlords are fucking pieces of shit. They keep raising the rents. Homeless people or people no longer can afford rent, so they start living out of their cars and whatnot. Now that is insecure housing. That's really a traumatic experience overall. I'm sure you've never had to experience something like that, where you're like, I don't know if I'll be able to fucking sleep with a shelter over my head, with a roof over my head tonight. It makes it harder.
Maybe.
Makes it harder for people to shower and all this like basic stuff that we take for granted. And that's a really traumatizing experience. Then you usually lose your job because you can't deal with like fucking being houseless and insecure, and also keep up a job at the same time. So then you move on to the second tier, where like you become a homeless person that like loses their car because they can't make the payments or whatever. And then you're living on the street. And that's when you start self-medicating by trying to fucking escape and deal with the trauma by doing drugs and a fuckload of other shit.
You don't
and
think
that's when
some
you
people-
start doing the
You don't think
hard
some
drugs.
people become homeless because they're addicts and that fucks the rest of their life out?
Well, that's what people think is happening.
But-
But if you look at the actual studies, no. The real reason is because people are priced out of their housing market.
Christian, just anecdotally, I've known a lot of pillheads in my life. All of them had houses. All of them
Right.
lived in a place. But like, okay, like if you make someone, even make them do it like a fucking year, like a year of like living on the fucking street, like in and out of shelters, because like, yeah, they're unreliable, they're shitty, they're unfortunately like privately funded, and like most private charity is like of varying dependability. But like, you make someone live outside where they're always looking over their fucking shoulder and always like making sure that no one's gonna call the cops on them, always making sure that like they're not noticed, but just trying to get enough to eat, trying to find a place to like wipe their ass, all these degrading things that like it wouldn't drive anyone crazy like a little bit, you know?
Maybe so for this proposed homelessness initiative of giving out free housing, do you have to pass a drug test in order to live there or no?
No, absolutely
fuck
not. No, why? Who cares? Everybody,
Can you just be there for free for
So
forever?
here's the thing. Here's the
like,
thing.
what's
You're
the-
drug free, right? But that is not the commonplace. That's not common for like 90% of Americans. Like the only difference between the fucking person who's like who's living on the streets and like is addicted to heroin or whatever, and every fucking wine mom that watches MSNBC or Fox News, depending on what they believe in, that is like barred the fuck out in order to like forget how miserable their fucking existence is the fact that one has access to shelter,
Yeah,
and the other doesn't.
I don't meet these moms.
So I don't want to.
I don't.
You could
You
be
do.
meeting,
You live in California. You fucking do.
you have met some
I do.
you've met some Klonopin zombies and not realized it.
Yeah,
You met
1000%,
'em.
dude. Are you kidding me?
You
The
didn't even know.
1,000-yard stare from like every mom that you've ever met at a function is barred the fuck out. Okay, straight up. So the point is like that. It doesn't matter. A housing first policy is actually quite successful in rehabilitating people, because you're eliminating one of the largest insecurities that people have that makes it almost impossible for them to even try to go down the path of rehabilitation. So once you address that major need, right? Once you address that major need, all of a sudden they actually can go down the pathway of rehab and creating better and becoming productive workers again, if that's what people care about. You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, that's precisely why I believe in a housing first policy. And countries that do that are very successful. I mean, Red Vienna. Have you ever been to Austria?
I've never been. No.
So Vienna has 65% of Vienna housing is public housing that the government built.
Yeah, I don't want to live in Vienna.
No, it's beautiful though.
Vienna's awesome.
Yeah,
Vienna's
it's
looks
fucking
nicer
incredible.
than
It's one of
most
the
places in
nicest,
America.
one of the
live
nicest
there?
fucking cities. I would love to live there.
Like, even just like you don't even have to like Park City, Utah, right? They made like government housing for homeless people, and it was an enormously successful policy. And like, if fiscal conservatism, if that's like your only angle, like I don't have to really give a shit about it, but like if you do, it ended up costing them a lot less money than just the current system of like, all right, we have the cops clear people out and we play whack-a-mole here. It was broadly successful. I don't know. Everyone should be in favor of it.
Yeah.
Salt Lake City too. I thought just Park City, Utah.
This is their public
Damn,
housing.
dude.
It's fucking sick. It's so sick. Their affordable housing is like 65% of Vienna's housing units that are available are quite literally built by the government. They're super cheap. They're super affordable for people, and people want to live in those spaces. Like these are spaces that foster communities. These are spaces that have like fucking pools and gyms and shit like that. So you get like you actually are coexisting with other people. It's a wonderful system. That's I think it's brilliant. I wish we could have shit like this.
And like honestly, like we should want all people to feel the maximum amount of dignity and togetherness that is possible.
Yeah, I don't
This is it. This is it, man.
that.
Yeah.
So
That the official government line isn't just like, all right, well if you fuck up, you're gonna sleep outside.
and the worst part about it is like we have enough money to do this shit. That's the worst fucking
Yeah.
part about it is that like the only reason why we don't do this shit is so that both liberal and Republican fucking rich like homeowners can continue using their fucking homes as an investment vehicle. And I say this as someone who's fucking living in a very nice house that I bought that I do not care for as an investment opportunity, but instead like shelter for me and my family. You know what I mean? I think it's really fucking stupid that we have to treat homeownership like an investment vehicle, and that's precisely why we can't ever do anything like public housing, because God forbid we have affordable housing units available to people, then everyone's home prices are going to go down, and oh no, we can't have that. We can't have that happen because no one wants to fucking live in their house for 30 years. Everyone wants to, move out and like move on to bigger and better
I think
things.
that's what's fun about our country.
But
it's not fun for that many people anymore. We have less social mobility than Europe.
I know,
Where, like
it has decreased a lot.
yeah.
I mean, Europe's beating us in that. The place like we're
Yeah,
more.
can you imagine
conducive to
getting
this shit.
cucked by those freaking
you wanna
Europeans,
lose
dude?
to Europeans?
Bullshit, dude.
They only just got rid of their monarchs. Some haven't even done it yet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like England still has the fucking queen, you know what I mean?
That's why
I know,
want.
fuck that. I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
no. That's why I want to nationalize our healthcare. They get to have that one over us. Fuck that.
Like, look, one of my moderators is quite literally Belgian, okay? Doesn't even have a government, and he's saying, get fucked right now. You want to get owned by Belgians? Like, not even a real country, and is able to make fun of Americans on that front. There's no point in asking him to answer these questions because he's going to give the answers that response that every Republican gives. They don't know how to think hard, so they resort to its impossible fix, and we should ignore it.
Just because I don't want to do it your way doesn't mean it's...
Okay, but to be fair, you haven't really given a good way so far when I asked you some questions. So there's some truth to that.
To fix Californians' fucked
Not to
up
fix
issues.
California, but like homelessness. Like I asked you how to deal with homelessness, and you
And I
didn't
said
do
I
that.
wanna put them in homeless shelters. End of discussion. Get them off the streets. Put them in homeless shelters for a temporary amount of time. If you maybe we incentivize with different options like temporary housing if you can pass a drug test, etc. But no, I don't want to build universal housing for people. I don't.
I think we definitely should do that.
yeah, I feel like that's
Because that's not
the only
working
way
right now.
out,
What you're
yeah.
describing quite literally is what the system that we supposedly have right now that's supposed to be
But we
functioning,
don't,
it's
or
not.
they wouldn't all be out on the street. So clearly something needs to change but
No, we do have that. The reason why they're out on the street regardless is because homeless shelters are just fucking god awful for the most part. You can't bring your stuff with you. You can't bring your dog with you. They're open for sexual harassment and assault. They're at a higher likelihood than you would be out in the fucking street when you have no protection. And then also on top of that, most importantly, shelters literally fucking like one, they kick people out during the day. Shelters also won't let you stay there if you can't quit cold turkey, which is like in most circumstances
so hard.
well, not just hard, but also a threat to your life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a big part of the problem.
Well, then let's reform that system, but no, not building universal housing so people can just hang out for as long as they want and
But, like,
just
why
live
not?
there.
But why
Because
not?
no, I don't want to pay for it. That's why.
You don't want
I
to
don't want to pay for it.
But
How about
if there's no one that is like no homeless people, but universal housing, you still don't want to pay for it?
No, I still don't want to pay for it. And also, I propose this idea. Let's do it, but if you're for it, you pay for it. How about that? Because there seems to be so many people for it. So if there's all
But I
these
do
people
pay
that
for
are
it.
for it,
I do.
then
I already pay
well,
for it.
let's propose that then. Everybody who's for it pays for it, and everybody who doesn't want
But
to
that
doesn't
you
have to
can't do
pay
that.
into it.
I mean,
Why?
the reason why you can't do that is because
Well,
like,
I know we can.
people
but
are
why not?
incredibly selfish, and they'll just say, "I'm not going to fucking pay for it," and then that will never be funded. That will
Okay.
never get adequate funding, and that's not how this works anyway. Like, you should be able to.
Well, if we took every liberal celebrity that has tons of money and they just merged all their money together to build sustainable options, I'm sure it could be done.
No,
Absolutely.
it still wouldn't, because you still need to.
Only a state can really do it.
Yeah.
Like, there are some things that only, like...
Well, I know
are
because
only
of
done,
regulations, because of-
possible at the capacity of a state.
Wow. Not for it.
I mean, it's like how much... People do spend a lot of effort on philanthropy. The problem with philanthropy is that it's mostly just a tax dodge vehicle for liberal
wealthy
and
people.
conservative.
Yeah.
I don't
with
see
money.
anything wrong with that at
And
all.
it's also wait, you don't have anything wrong with the way that 501c3s are created in this country?
I don't have a problem with someone getting a tax write-off for doing something good, no.
Oh no, but the 501c3s and the way that they're created is just to like have fucking high-paying CEOs for the most part, like
Oh.
that barely ever fucking
Do anything
they barely ever do anything. That's why mutual aid is better than 501c3s in like 99% of the circumstances. But also, you know, the thing is, like, people don't realize how they benefit from things that are good for the collective good. Like, when asked, most people would say they don't use the highways or they don't use the roads. Why should I pay for it? I don't use the roads, but you fucking do. Or public transit. Why would I pay for public transit if it was going to come out of my taxes when I'm never going to ride the bus? I got my fucking Range Rover. You know what I mean? You know, let's go Brandon. It's expensive, but I can pay for it, right? But what you don't recognize in that situation is like an adequate public transit system actually makes traffic less awful
Congested.
and less congested overall for everyone. And that's precisely why the government in a lot of instances has to do something. Unfortunately, in America, we don't have a government that does something. We have a government that does nothing other than, you know, operate as like this fucking state that takes money away from taxpayers and offers corporate subsidies to this like patchwork of corporations that are going to overtake the place of the government in most instances and do a shitty fucking job at it because all they care about is profits. That's it. You know what I mean?
Period.
Even the workers who built his Range Rover used the bus to get to the factory to build it, so he still benefits from it. Yeah, I mean, of course. It's like, yeah. Do you think the United States is a meritocracy where people with merit actually succeed?
A lot of the time, yeah.
Really?
I don't think it's universal, no, but for a lot of people, yes, absolutely.
I don't agree with that at all.
I mean,
You don't think it's possible to work your way up with merit? Literally.
But it's
I mean, this is anecdotal, but like, it's just not true. So that's so many people's stories. So.
I mean, no, it definitely happens. It happens less than in places that have less of a fuck you, pay me thing than we do. Like, not like no one's gonna call like any of these like EU nations socialist by any meaningful definition, but people are less on their own there, and they have more social mobility. More people move up than they do here.
Yeah.
In the last 30 years.
like, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in if I didn't have a good spawn point. Okay, my family relatively affluent in Turkey, right? And despite the fact that my dad lost everything by the time I went to college, it doesn't matter because the affluent beginning that I got in the form of a great education and all this other stuff, not being burdened with like debt or having to work or anything like that, and being able to focus on myself and my education, gave me the opportunities that
Absolutely.
I
Same
have
for
now.
me.
But that's not so social safety nets would make up for that.
Well, both my parents grew up extremely poor, worked their way up. So it's just like we can
like,
play this game of
but, like,
stories, but
But like one of your parents had like
no,
my
my parents zero. My dad
I know,
fat.
But,
so,
but what I'm saying is like he had.
Oh,
he's like
athletic ability. Well,
but, like,
some people have IQ
not just
ability.
not just like athletic ability, but like one of the most amazing athletic abilities of all time.
And
that
my
probably we'll ever
stepdad
see.
and my stepdad had no athletic ability. I think he's probably has a really high IQ. Sure, built a business, has much more money than my father. I mean, yeah, maybe I do not want to all end up at the same place. I want people who have a special skill to get rewarded for that skill, whether that's a brain skill, whether that's an athletic skill. That's what I want.
But do you think
that.
Do you think that like the children of a guy who has no skills, who just, hey, every day's a gamble for him and he always loses, do you think they deserve to like live in misery, like to live without dignity?
No,
To
but
like worry about where they're gonna live?
No, but there's so many kids with parents who have special skills, and those parents blow their special skill off, and that's that's on the parent.
But like, what about?
But
the
I don't
kid?
think
Like,
that-
what about the kid though? Like, is the kid just fucked then?
No, but what do you propose? That
Like, do you think
That there's like government housing. That
we
there's an
have
actual-
government housing?
No, we don't.
We want better government housing.
No,
I
we
want
don't
more.
have. We don't have government housing.
Not to the extent that we need it. I'm proposing that just there is a basic guarantee of human dignity,
Yeah.
like that other countries have. That you're not just totally fucked if your dad is like, oh, I spent all the bread money.
Yeah.
Spent all the bread money
Or-
on unleaded gas to win a street race and I lost.
Or
Because that's a lot of people. I've known guys like that, and sometimes they have kids.
Or depending on
It's
where
like,
you're
damn,
born,
dude.
right? Like, you can't honestly say, obviously, that like some kid born into like a rich executive producer's family in Beverly Hills has the same starting point as
No,
like a
I
kid
don't want
born
to
in-
solve, but they should have an extra start. Their parent worked to give them that starting point.
No.
You're saying fuck what that parent put in? No, he has the starting point because someone worked for it. And they should have that starting point because it was worked for. It didn't come from something random.
But you're missing my point. What I'm trying to say is that people are always going to have additional advantages. That's a given. I'm not advocating for like the equality of outcome or whatever the fuck Republicans think like leftists believe in. Okay, that's not a real thing because look at the NBA. There's always going to be someone that's taller, someone that's faster, someone that's stronger, someone with more skill. That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm simply stating is being able to offer every single citizen, every single individual that steps foot inside of the U.S. fucking border, okay?
Oh yeah,
Across the board,
no.
a same level of base material equality
No.
and a same starting point that addresses all of their humanly interests and needs so that everyone can prosper and everyone can have lead a life of dignity.
And then I could
And we
get
have
on
the-
board with something you were saying. If you didn't say anybody who steps over the border, why are you when we have Americans who can't take care of themselves, can't afford basic needs.
Wait, but okay.
But-
So you would
so
be
if-
fine. So you'd be fine if we had a stronger border.
If we had a stronger border, we talked immigration, then we could discuss it. Sure. I don't
We
know
could
what
discuss
that
it,
would
what?
look
We could
like,
discuss
but,
what?
But when we're
Man.
bringing
We could discuss it. It's like,
But you won't even say yes to that.
no,
You won't even say yes to that, even if we had.
We could discuss.
You won't
it.
even say yes to that, even if we
I've
have.
used that one too many times in my life to know what that means. To not know what that means, rather.
Yeah, no.
So you're against it, like even though
I don't know what you're saying. You're saying I'm against universal, but y'all pitch it in a way where you say, "Oh, it's just the bare minimum for people."
Yeah.
No, lots of people are surviving at the bare minimum on the horrible welfare system that we have. So no, people
Wait,
are
that's not
surviving
good,
off
though. But, like,
no,
that's
but
not-
so then you say, but what is your bare minimum? A luxury
A bare
apartment,
minimum,
like
no.
Austria
A bare
has?
minimum
I
is
don't-
a bare minimum is like adequate shelter that has like actual fucking hot water, cold water, like
even
heating,
if you're not working on
heating,
your life at
cooling.
all, like
Yes.
lots of the
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
100%.
Well, like,
No.
why
I'm not for it.
if a kid's parent is like, just like fucked up, they can't get it together, whatever reason. Whether you want to say it's because they're a bad person.
Well, let's do
or
something for kids then. Let's have a
But
program for
they're
kids.
gonna live with their parent. Like, why should they have to live at a fucking bus stop
Yeah,
because
something
their dad like
Uh-uh.
fucks up all the time?
No, they're kids, elderly, non-productive workers, or like unproductive people that are not a part of like the labor class or whatever should still deserve a life of dignity, especially because we can fucking pay for it. If your fear, on the other hand, is that like, well, then we're not going to incentivize these people to like work hard or whatever. You're not incentivized to fucking work hard right now, but yet you still do, right?
I think I am. Yeah.
What is your incentive?
I want more than even my parents are willing to give me. So
Okay,
yeah,
but
I'm
like
totally
you have been
incentivized.
afforded a life of luxury because of who your parents are, and yet you still want more. That a lot of people strive for that, except they
But
don't
I'd
even
say-
but they don't even
but
have like
lots
their
of
needs
people-
taken care of.
I'd say if you pooled all celebrity children, yeah, there's a lot of celebrity children who work hard, and yeah, sure. But if the majority don't, I would say the majority don't want more than they have.
Yeah, and they shouldn't die. Is my point. They, like,
No, but
okay, that's fine. Like their parents worked hard, they no longer have to. That's fine. If they don't want to work hard, that's fine. What I'm simply stating is that there's plenty of people. Like you got fucking kids, their parents are teachers in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? They're making like 28 grand a fucking year. They have to do Uber on top of that. Like that child should not be in a worse situation overall. Like there should be that child should be taken care of. That parent should be taken care of. There should be fucking
aren't
housing.
they being taken care of?
No,
No,
there
not at
there
all.
are people who
They're
like
living under a bridge. They can't afford food. Like
they're living
no,
they're,
that's
li-
just
they're
not
living
the-
they're living like. Do you see the story in New York about the apartment that had no heat, so they had to run a fucking space heater in the hallway?
And it fucking
and
lit
it
the
fucking
apartment
burned down
up.
and killed 18 people. I bet there are, out of those 18 people, I could pick out people that would fit your benchmark of someone who's doing everything right, who's like doing what they're supposed to, whatever that means. You would find enough people, and they still got fucked because this is a brutal country, even for people who are ostensibly doing everything right.
Yeah, plenty of
And
people who
yeah.
work super fucking hard. Most people, I would say, even that work super fucking hard, are never going to get above. They're never gonna actually fucking reach financial security. Not because they haven't worked hard enough or smart enough, but simply because they're fucking spawn point. Like they were born they got fucked. They were born into an immigrant family, or they were born overseas, and then their parents had to come here illegally and offer a better life for them. But they haven't been able to reach that financial security. That budget shortfall is built into their existence. There's nothing you can do about it. And the unfortunate reality is like, look, I come from a relatively affluent background. You come from a very affluent background. So this is not something that you've probably encountered. But being poor, especially when I was living on my own, being poor is very expensive. I had to fucking do some crazy shit to be able to like get this amount of protein that I need to fucking consume after working out. Like I would get like expired chicken. You know what I mean? I lived in the fucking kitchen of a frat house. Not to say that like I made it so everyone else can or whatever the fuck. And I still had a fuckload of advantages in comparison to most other people that are in similar circumstances. But I know for a fact that like there are so many people who aren't able to get that leg up, that aren't able to ever reach any sort of point beyond financial insolvency because they had to fucking, they're saddled with debt. Because they went to college. They're saddled with debt because they have a shitty parent, like Felix mentioned. They're saddled with debt because medicine. That's the most insane part. They're saddled with debt because they just, they don't have health care. So went to the hospital. Some shit happened. And now they're fucked for the rest of their lives. That's insane. That's a bullshit system. That's not the wealthiest country on the planet. That's the worst country. Like, it's crazy how much we have and how much we could afford to do for our citizens, and yet we refuse to do so. It's bullshit. Also, yeah, the idea that like welfare makes people lazy is just ridiculous. It's like been, it's been disproven time and time again.
Yeah. Nope, you haven't changed my mind.
It's okay.